Okay, so this is going to be a mini series of videos on what I want to see at the upcoming E3 events. I know it's like only in a few weeks, and I'm sure like none of this is actually going to happen. But I'm just giving my thoughts. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Right? I don't know. It's just, and even if no one sees this, or people actually see this who are developers or conference people or publishers, maybe they'll take it into account for the next event. I'm highly doubting any of that shit will happen if anyone who is a developer or publisher sees this, but who knows? Maybe 1 year, eventually. I mean, people watch YouTube videos all the time. But I'm not popular, so who cares? May as well give my thoughts to anyone who's willing to watch. So first, let's go with Sony, because they're the people I enjoy most. And I have a special video for Microsoft for theirs, especially with that Xbox One thing. And it looks like they're probably going to do an original, we're, I'm just going to call it the OG box. They're probably going to do an OG box thing again, where they just ditch their last console and just be like, fuck it, that thing's dead. You gotta pay attention to this now because, yeah, we're just gonna take off all your online features away from you and make sure, in the next 2 years you'll never be able to play them again. Thanks for buying. And fuck you for, supporting us and shit. Yeah, it's okay. Come here. See this? This is our new thing. You gotta buy it. Gotta fucking buy it. But yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, they just like to push my buttons sometimes. But yeah, so I'll do one for them. But let's get started with Sony. So my thoughts. There are a couple of things I want to do that I'd like to see. I'd like it to be split into three separate parts. I mean, they kind of do that for some events, but they usually just fuck it up. They just. And this is another thing, and I'm gonna bring up right now. They are fucking horrible when it comes to writing their own scripts. Like how to talk during a conference, they're horrible. Now, mind you, the best are probably like a tie between Nintendo and Microsoft. Nintendo does this stupid skit-like shit, but at least they talk. Albeit it kind of sucks because like half the time they're being translated by some white guy who freaking stutters or just has to write what the fuck they're saying in Japanese and then translate it, and it doesn't really work well. Microsoft, they write all their shit down and they get it. It's just their content's boring. So if Sony could find a middle ground, that would get me through the conference without any problems. Just on a consistent basis in terms of that quality. That's what I'm talking about. Next, I would like it to see them split it into different sections. So PS3, obviously, PS Vita. Not many people care about that anymore, but whatever. And PS4. Seems simple, right? Right? Not really. Because this is Sony, and they're gonna, they're just gonna do a bunch of random shit, and it's not gonna work, and it's not gonna be consistent, and they're not gonna know how to segue between that shit. Like Microsoft didn't know how to fucking segue in their shitty ass conference between starting their console, setting it up, being, you know, like this is what it can do, and then EA comes in, and then uh, freaking Activision comes in, and TV again, and CBS, and Halo on TV. It was just horrible segueing, and it was. I mean, it kind of worked. I mean, they didn't make me care because the content was boring. Call of Duty, they did that in like, what, 2010, 2011? exclusive content for Call of Duty. Like, why am I supposed to give a fuck? You do that every year. Every year! Are you kidding me? So, yeah, Sony, try and make it consistent. Try and get me invested and interested. How hard is that? Think about it. Get shit together. And please, for the love of God, if you do invite Media Molecule again, make sure they don't do the stupid little puppets and props and do the stupid thing with the cameras and the move and shit. Make sure it looks interesting and not childish and ridiculous like Nintendo in earlier E3s like '08 and '09. Yeah. Just don't, please. Will of God. Please. If you want it to be, like, great, like, come on. Okay. So yeah, start going strong with PS3 since you're going to be segueing from PS3 and to the PS4 and shit, just in general in gaming. You're going from console to console. So, explain what you want to do with PS3 as a send-off, even though you're going to be continuing to keep the system rolling for another year or two anyways, at least from what you've said years ago, and it seems like you're still going to try and do that. So, try and build it up. Make it suspenseful. Don't make people forget about it. You've already led people to do that, which isn't a good thing. I understand you're trying to get PS4 out and everything before Microsoft and their new Xbox One, but at least try and get people to still be invested in the system before before the PS4 comes out. And even after, try and make people still care. Make it relevant. Give it some exclusive features. Make it, offer something special after the PS4 comes out for the PS3 users. That would be alone a huge thing, and people who didn't have a PS3 already, who are waiting for the 4, might just drop money on the 3 and then wait maybe 6 months to a year because you were so nice to offer that. Think about that. And I'm probably exaggerating a bit on that, but if it was something like really huge or it was like certain deals every month, like something big, not just the free games and everything, like maybe a free movie or certain like a stream of movies in a row you can watch for free on a new service that you offer. Make it kind of like the video services that are on other consoles and that are coming out. Make it your own consistent PlayStation movie center like application. Charge like I don't know. Let's just throw out some random number there, like $20 a year, or like I don't know, $10 for 3 months, $25 for a year, something like that, to watch just a stream of movies that run all day long, and have there be like 3 or 4 channels. I mean, it's not much, but that's just a suggestion, and again, probably not ever going to happen. But I'm just saying that would probably be an interesting idea. PS Vita. Okay, people have gone over this. Price cut in the fucking US. Is that really that difficult? I believe they already did it in Japan and the sales slightly rose. So do it in the US, unless they already did and I missed it. But yeah, there's that. Make the games known again. I haven't heard anything about Vita in months. And that needs to change, because otherwise nothing's going to happen for the system. Period. So, yeah. I don't know. There's just something there that's not hitting me, and I'm a huge Sony guy, so why am I not hearing anything? I'm not looking for stuff, but it should come to me. When the Xbox One reveal came, I was like, everyone was on that shit. People who hated Microsoft were telling me, dude, you gotta see this shit conference. So I did. And I don't like Microsoft that much. So I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. So I made a couple of videos on it. If you honestly have some shit to show me that is actually good, and you spread the word, people will listen and care. Come on. Or God forbid, just... there's numerous things you could do for the Vita to help it out. But my mind's blanking, so let's head on to the PS4. What you can do to get it out of the gate and to get people interested in it again. Take everything that people wanted for the Xbox One, you know, digitally, what people were thinking about, exclusive games, exclusive content, some services that Microsoft is offering that's actually kind of interesting. Take that and think about it and apply it to your system later. Note I said later, because if you do it now, you're probably just going to fuck it up and do what Microsoft did and just totally, like, abandon the whole audience of gaming. And I don't want that. Well, what you're doing now is great. You have got developers on your side for the most part. People who want to make games for you, people that want to make games exclusively for your system, people who want to make games for your system and the PC and maybe the Wii U and possibly the Xbox if it doesn't fuck with them. Like now, apparently, Microsoft screwed over the indie crowd, which is really sad because they sort of helped get it onto consoles in the first place. Like, what the fuck, Microsoft? How do you do that? You alienated like 3 or 4 audiences that you had. How do you do that? Multi-flat audience, exclusive audience, and indie audience. How do you do all that? But yeah, Sony, you can do a lot for your E3 conference to get people interested, to get the ball rolling. And these are just some ideas that I had. And I know none of this will actually happen. But I'm just giving my thoughts. New applications, exclusive to your service. Get the word out there. Advertisement. Price cuts. Better writing for the event. For the love of God, I don't know. Find someone who knows how to talk to people. How about that? I don't need a bunch of corporate morons trying to speak to me in tongues, okay? I've had enough of that. We had that fat white dude. We had the Japanese CEOs and vice presidents and shit that don't know how to talk to people. I'm sick of that. I don't like to be pandered to. I want to be talked to like a normal human being. Like I'm a gamer that matters. I want to buy your shit, so tell me what you got and don't treat me like an imbecile. For fuck's sake. This isn't difficult. It should be simplistic. It should be easy. But it isn't. Because these conferences take like an hour and a half. And I'm watching them on a computer screen. Sure, I have to see it from distance. I'm not going to be there. Nonetheless, if I have to hear you through a tiny-ass microphone or a very crappy stereo system on my computer, I want to at least hear something good from your mouth, okay? I don't want to just hear blah, 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 blah. Here's our game. Here's a demo. Here's some footage of a cutscene, and there you go. Be happy. Here's 10 more. Some of them are multi-flats. No, I want you to explain the game to me, to make it sound interesting, to make it sound new, and if it isn't new, make me still want to buy it anyways by explaining the story, explaining the gameplay, showing me the gameplay, if possible, if there is any, and if there isn't, at least tell me why there isn't gameplay. Tell me why this CGI cut is important for me to see, or to get me invested in the game in the first place when there is actual gameplay out roaming the internet. Yeah. So obviously, even though I'm a huge Sony fan, I think their E3 events usually are average or subpar, even compared to Microsoft's and Nintendo's. Which Nintendo, again, hit or miss. You have the white guys there translating for Japanese guys. And these, Nintendo, you've had game systems in America since what, late 85 and early 86. And you still don't speak English. And you come to all these E3 events. I'm not racist or anything. I don't need them to be Americanized or anything. But at least like 10 words in English would be kind of nice. Like, hi. Here we go. This is the game. Like, this is a cutscene. No, nothing. I rarely see that. I just see, like, the guy come on stage with a prop and do something, and then if it's not that, then it's, you know, the white guy comes out or some European guy, and they have to translate while the gameplay footage is in the back on the top screen above their head, which is what I want to pay attention to, because it's so uninteresting to see two people interact with each other who are on opposite sides of a language barrier. I don't want to see that. I want to see someone try and speak to me and understand what I'm saying, and for them to speak to me in a language that I understand. I mean, is that so hard? I mean, you've had nearly 20 years, no, 30 years to freaking, like, talk to me at a freaking, like, okay, I think in the 80s there was CES and shit, but now it's E3 and shit like that. Either way, you've been to events where you have to announce video game systems, products, controllers, inputs, accessories, etc. You could learn some damn English. Or if you go to Europe, at least, I don't know what they speak. There's numerous languages over there. Spanish, maybe. I can at least get by with Spanish, okay? I don't know. Again, not trying to be racist, but it's just something that irks me. Or, for fuck's sake, do what Sony does. Have people who are American from that side of the industry, the North American Nintendo, have those guys introduce their games. Introduce the games. Even though they're just translating it. And hardly even developing it at all, besides the translation and a couple of, bugs they're probably fixing. Anyway, so yeah, that was my thoughts on my hopes for an E3 for Sony. Again, none of that shit's probably going to happen, but I can hope and pray that one day they'll listen to this shit and I won't be wasting my breath. But I probably am. But I'd still like everyone to comment. Seriously, comment. Tell me your thoughts. I want to read them. There we go, read them. Have a good one.